This is TNC Movie Nights, and depending on what time of year it is, this video might make us money or it might flop. That's not true, but it does have to do with what we're talking about this week when we're talking about movies and what time of year they come out. Well, before we do that, Brandon, how you doing?
My birthday was yesterday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday!
Thanks, man.
Oh, we're also in the
well.
same room again.
Yeah, as you can see, he'll probably be here for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
gift, by the way. It's
Oh,
your
perfect.
gift is
Just
more
you.
presents.
I'll,
I'm just kidding. I'll get you something.
No, you're good. This is good enough. I'm doing well. Just turned 25, so that's cool. Half a century old. Half a
boy.
century, quarter of a century. Wow, I can't do math anymore.
Baby boy.
I know.
We're the same age. It's just I turned 26 soon.
In a month, month and a half.
How's it feel?
No different at all. Everyone yesterday was asking me, like, do you feel older? I'm like, no, feel same age. Just, it's another day. I feel like after 21, that's just what it is now. It's just another day. I think, like, can I
Now you can
rent a car? I was going to say, I think I
Yeah.
can rent a car now. Hey.
Yeah, and you got one more year of being on your parents' insurance. If I don't know. Your
Haven't been
situation,
for
but that means
5
you
years, so
shouldn't
don't worry.
be. Yeah. And then after that, then we're old.
Yeah.
Then we're like pre-old. Then you're 30, and then you complain about being almost 30 for like the whole time, and then you're 30. So you're just like, oh wait, yeah, that's fine.
Can
I
I
assume I'm not 30 yet.
Can I just jump to, like, 45? I just want to be gray. I just want to be gray hair.
Bro, you don't even have to start at 17 and you'll be fine. I'm gonna be like gray at like 27.
That'd be dope. I want that. I've been thinking about dying at gray. I want to be gray so bad.
A little salt and pepper.
Yeah, exactly.
That was last week. Alright. Anyway, like I said, this week we are talking about movies. Big shock, but specifically what time of year they come out and what that means and why that happens and why it's a big deal. And Brandon, you know firsthand what this is like. 'Cause you worked at a movie theater for how long did you work there?
4 years, roughly, almost a full 4 years. But yeah, it's very kind of in your face about when you realize it, because working at the movie theater, you always saw, like, it's weird that we're hiring people now. It's weird that people are only here for summer jobs, stuff like that. So usually May to August is that sweet spot of the blockbuster time, and then again kind of right around Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the other small little window you have. Everything else is this movie, we don't have a whole lot of trust in it, so we're throwing it in February to not have to compete with
Especially
anything.
January and February.
January, February, March, even a little bit of April is usually pretty rough, and then September, October, unless it's a horror movie in October.
Yeah,
Everything
especially
else
if there's
is done.
like a Friday the 13th in October.
Yeah.
Then it's horror central from then to Halloween, but that's only for horror, like you said.
Yeah.
It's tricky, man, and it's weird, like how much that really matters. Because, like you said, the summer months are the big ones. Like June and July are the huge ones, and then if you go back to like May and extend it out to August, even those in like very blockbuster heavy years are insane. And I mean, if you think about it, I guess it makes sense. You know, kids are out of school, and so parents are looking for stuff to do. Parents, I mean, I don't know if they're more fatigued because the kids are home, or if they're less because they get to go on like vacations and junk. I don't know. But you have like everyone looking for things to do because the end of the year, or end of the school year, and all that jazz. And then, you know, November, December, that's Oscar season right there. Everyone's trying to win those awards, so you see like kind of the big money makers in the summer, and then you see the award winners, which are going to make money still, but the award winners in like November, December, because that's when they're pushing for Oscar season. And yeah, kind of everything else in between. September and October feels like it's like you're in between such busy seasons that doesn't really dip that low. But yeah, man, if you're in like February, that's rough. That's rough. Or you were delayed, and now you're just going to have to deal with that.
Yeah. For example, I'm just currently pulling up 2017 movies. And I'm going to go ahead and just read off July for us. There weren't a whole lot of movies in July, but you're going to hear them and be like, yeah, I know a lot of those movies. Or we knew about them when they were coming out because how much marketing they had. So we had Spider-Man Homecoming. Yep. The weekend after, we had War of the Planet of the Apes. We had Dunkirk the week after. Great film. The week after that, we had the Emoji Movie and Atomic Blonde, which were both kind of that. They got a lot of marketing. I remember seeing them everywhere, but they just, didn't hit maybe as big.
They thought they were going to make a lot of money with those.
Yeah, and then even just to kind of throw June in here a little bit, I'm going to read off like a movie of each week of June. Okay. Some even two. The first week, Wonder Woman, Captain Underpants. Two movies that were expected to do pretty well, which both of them did, for what they were. The next week, we had The Mummy. You wouldn't expect much less.
Not without Fraser.
Yeah, sadly, it was Tom Cruise. And then the week after that, you had Cars 3. The week after that, you had Transformers. And then the week after that, you had Baby Driver and Despicable Me. Jeez. So every weekend is just big movie, big movie, big movie. Now I'm right off February.
Oh, God.
February, and I will say, February to me is the month of sequels that they just didn't know if they would do well, kind of thing.
Or Valentine's Day shitty rom-coms.
Yes, and I will give February 1 week. They had a great week, looking back. But when they were coming out, we were like, there's nothing coming out in February. Except for one. February, the first one we had The Space Between Us and Youth in Oregon, The Rings, and Growing Up with Smith. I've never heard of any four of those movies, and I was working at the theaters at this time.
Oh my God, you were!
Yeah. The next week, this was a big week. The Lego Movie. The Lego Batman movie. So, like I said, sequels that they didn't know how they would do kind of thing. I know the Lego Batman movie isn't a direct sequel to the Lego movie, but it's kind of that same area. 50 Shades Darker, Valentine's movie-ish. John Wick Chapter 2, that's one that surprises me in here. But that was one where it was like, John Wick didn't do incredible at the box office. It kind of did really well the next couple of years. Like, even now it's blowing up more the last year or two. So yeah, John Wick 2, you're throwing another you're throwing another movie in there, you don't know about the sequel. And then after that, we have the third week, we have Fist Fight, A Cure for Wellness, and The Great Wall. Don't remember any of those?
I remember a couple of those. Wasn't The Great Wall that...
It's a really bad action movie with, let me see if I... Matt Damon.
Matt Damon? Yeah, where he plays, he's the only white dude on, The Great Wall of China.
Yep.
Because they have to cast a white person as the lead in every movie, apparently, for some reason.
Yeah. That was that one. So, yeah, that was the big movie of the month, realistically looking at it. And then at the end of the month, another one that we kind of got lucky with, but we had Rock Dog. We had Collide, The Girl with All the Gifts, and the one we got lucky with, again, looking back at it, we were like, what's this movie? Get Out.
Oh, man, that was good.
So that's February.
Welcome to the director scene, Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
God, that was good.
And that's the thing, people didn't trust that movie. What did they do? Threw it in February, and it did well. It was one of, two movies to do anything of 2017 in February. And then, as we already kind of jumped into June and July, just every weekend, blockbuster. September is the same thing as February. First week, we had Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool and Tulip Fever. The next week, we did, again, have one that was it wasn't going to do good, but it's kind of in that horror aspect, and we're in the month before. We had It, and then we had Home Again, 9/11, and The Good Catholic. Outside of It, nothing of really mention. And then the next week we had American Assassin and Mother. The week,
weird.
Yeah, and Mother was really. I remember that one.
Very on the nose. We get it.
Yeah, really, really odd one. And then the week after, we did have Kingsman: The Golden Circle again, a sequel that they just didn't know how it would do. Kind of had a little bit of a cult following. Then we had the Lego Ninjago movie, and then Jeepers Creepers. September's, again, just a weird month where it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. It did really well. That one took off.
Is September considered a dump month? Because I know January and February are. Is it officially a dump month, too?
For my knowledge, September and October are, as long as October is, if it's not a horror movie, which every week of October. I mean, I'll go and read them off. We did get Blade Runner 2049, which still didn't do that well. Again, it was kind of a movie trying to come back. But then we had Happy Death Day. That didn't really do a whole lot. We had Geostorm, Boo 2, and then the weekend after that was Jigsaw. It's horror movie. But then November and December, it's like, yeah, we're back to being June and
Oscar
July
season,
again.
baby.
Yeah, and Oscar season. You know, you had Lady Bird, you had Thor Ragnarok, you had, Daddy's Home 2. That's considered like a blockbuster comedy type movie. Justice League was the weekend after. And then you jump into December and you had Star Wars, Jumanji. There was Pitch Perfect 3. That's another kind of,
Oscar season plus kids on winter break plus Christmas. Good God.
And that's a big reason the movies come out when they do, because if you look at the times the big movies come out, Justice League came out the week of Thanksgiving. December, kids are on winter break. That's when all the other big blockbusters coming out. And then you have summer break when, again, kids can go see movies. February, January, kids are, just starting the new semesters. Same with September and October, just starting the new semesters. It's stuff like that. You really just don't see the movies kind of jump really heavily into it.
I thought for sure when you were talking about February movies that you would have talked about Deadpool. I know we just did Deadpool, but it tells so much about being released in February, because that doesn't mean you won't do well. But it was the first rated R superhero movie. Everyone was worried about it. They didn't want to take up a prime spot in July.
Yeah, going against the Avengers or something like that.
Right. And it was, this movie that they had to fight to make for over a decade.
Yeah.
Kind of had a cult following. Would it translate into the box office? Who knows? We'll throw it in February. But then they kind of flipped it and turned it into all of the romantic movie. This is a Valentine. I think it released on Valentine's Day, right?
The 12th, so I think the day
12th,
before.
okay.
It's actually the reason I didn't bring up 2016 was because I knew Deadpool was there. So
Right. God, you said 2017.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they were just the marketing that went into that, all of the billboards, all of the previews everywhere about we're kind of owning that this is a February release. This ain't a dump month, this is a love story. But man, was that risky. And it works. Sometimes it works. Just because you get released in June doesn't make you great, or it won't guarantee a lot of money.
Oh yeah, look at Fast and the Furious comes out in summer.
Those do make money though.
Sadly, they do.
And
sadly
just
make
because
money.
you released in January, February doesn't mean you're not going to be successful in it, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to make money. It's just
Your cap is much lower.
A lot of the time, the vast majority of the time, the big money movies and the movies that people even if you split them again, the big money movies are in the summer, and then the critical hits and that kind of stuff, the Oscar fodder, that happens in Oscar season in November and December. Everything else kind of a dumb month, and it's just where they go.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, we got this coming out. We know it's gonna make money. We got this coming out. I think I can win some Oscars. Put that in July. Put that in December. What do we do with these 6? January, February, March, September again, October, because it's kind of a thriller.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because, as we said, you have November, you have December, then you have June, July. So there's those 4 months, and then the heavy dump months are usually September, October, and then January, February. So then you also now have, because it's 8 of the 12, you have 2 months that are really just weird. They try to be the blockbuster months, and that's May and August. Thanks to Marvel, May's become much more of a big hit movie month, because Captain America Civil War came out in May in, I think this is 2016. Then we had
Guardians come out in something?
in August, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, then we had X-Men, we had Neighbors 2, the Angry Birds movie. That was all in May. So May has become much more of a blockbuster potential month. August is kind of another weird month. You get stuff like Suicide Squad, a movie that we're like, is this going to work? But we're going to try to have it in the end of summer type stuff. You also had stuff like Sausage Party, Pete's Dragon, War Dogs. Those are some other pretty big ones that are at the time expected to be big movies, and sometimes usually I feel like they can hit because kids are still like out of school for a couple more weeks, so usually the first week or two are kind of the big blockbuster signs.
Yeah. It's crazy how much that really, really affects the success of a movie, honestly. Like how much more money you make if you're released in middle summer or Christmas.
Yeah, because again, it's really just that potential. And, March is kind of one of those weird months that we haven't even brought it up yet. That's kind of a limbo area, It's those movies that want to be blockbusters, but we just don't know if they're blockbusters yet. Like here, X-Men had a lot of issues. Logan came out in March. At the end of the day, Logan, great movie, but a lot of other X-Men stuff's been kind of all over the place. Another one, this is all in 2017, Kong Skull Island came out. Another one of those films that was like, we're trying to come back, we're grasping to come back, and now it is a blockbuster film, I would say, for the most part. You had Beauty and the Beast, when they were doing the live action. Is this going to work? Is this going to be able to come back? Then you had Power Rangers, a movie that didn't succeed, where, again, it's another big franchise type of thing, and yeah, March is just a really weird area, and also kind of so is April. April, again, thanks to Marvel, we're starting to see a little bit more stuff get some love in April. And even Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious came out in April in 2017.
There you go. Things are ever changing and ever expanding. I wonder what it'll be like if, okay, not to always bring it back to COVID, but COVID has changed so much about how we do things. Like everything is virtual, and so there's the lines between being places and not being places a lot blurrier now. And so I wonder if we go into a more permanent semi-remote type environment where people aren't, going into the office every single day, and the kids aren't, I doubt this will happen, but maybe there's something along the lines of it's not to and from school every single day like clockwork again, and maybe things become a little bit more fluid. I wonder if these lines are going to kind of blur even more, and then it just becomes like, instead of being hard lines, no, yes, if it comes kind of more gradual slopes where it's in the dead of summer it's big, and in the dead of winter it's big. You got Oscar season, you've got peak summer break, but everything else kind of mellows. Or if it'll still just be no, June, July, November, December. I don't know. There's no follow-up to that. I was just curious. What do you think?
So I do think we have started to see a little bit of change of that over the years. Just kind of for the example, I just named off some really big movies in May, which I'm going to jump back to 2010 May real quick and just read off some of the films just to kind of look a little bit. We had Alice in Wonderland, which I guess that was kind of in the borderline box office area. Weekend after that was Our Family Wedding, and She's Out of My League was the other big one. And then you just had Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Bounty Hunter, and then How to Train Your Dragon, which that one got lucky, kind of hit big, but that's at the last week, the start of June practically.
Also, it's not Disney, so...
Yeah.
DreamWorks has been... DreamWorks is... They're legit, they're up there, they make great stuff, but it doesn't have that more guaranteed feeling with, a Pixar.
Oh, I apologize. That was March, not May. Let me actually go to May real quick. May, we had Shrek Forever After, the fourth or fifth Shrek movie. We had Prince of Persia, Robin Hood, and we did get Iron Man 2, which was the sequel. It was kind of is this a big blockbuster? But that, in comparison to May now, where we got, I think, Avengers Endgame in May, we've gotten X-Men films. Every weekend of May has a big movie now. 2010 May, we've already seen it kind of change. There was just one blockbuster really in all of May. Now it's every weekend almost has one, at least 3 of the 4 weeks. And you're even starting to see April get some blockbusters. As much as we hate to agree Fast and the Furious is a blockbuster film, those come out in April. There are some Marvel movies. I think even Black Widow was supposed to come out in April originally. So, we've seen the line start to slowly blur. Will it fully blur into January and February and then September and October as much? Maybe, maybe not over the years. With things becoming a lot more digital, kids having a lot more ability to do work on their own time and stuff, maybe that will start to change more as we've kind of seen the digital era from 2010 to 2020 at this point really start to be a little bit more friendly to your own time sensitive things.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun to see. And who knows, maybe they'll keep releasing some stuff on like HBO Max or whatever some of the time. Although I think they're starting to transition back into just theater releases.
Yeah,
So-
they're at least doing their best too.
So we'll have to see. But let us know, what is your favorite time to go see a movie? I know I love going to the theaters around Christmas. I think it's so much fun. And summer blockbusters, man, that's where it's at. But do you have a favorite time to go? Let us know. Hit us up in the comments. Or all of the places you can find us. Speaking of, funny you should mention it, me. Thank you. You're welcome. Brandon, tell people they can find us.
It's real nice and simple. We do have a central hub for you. It's called thenerdchambers.com. It's our own website where we do post all of our own YouTube videos and podcasts, all that good stuff. All of our shows, the Twitch streams, the highlights, all of that does go onto the website as well. So definitely go ahead and take a look there. Now, if you just want to follow us on any social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TNC Movie Nights, real simple and easy as well. But, and then also, if you want to support us on the website, there's a little spot to, a little merch shop. You can get our different merch. You got a little TNC Penguin. We got the Nerd Chambers logo in the back with Alex. See on both screens. But, yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today, breaking down the different times of years that movies come out.